We heal your hearts. Please repeat after me. Baruch atah Adonai dayan ha'emet. Praise the Lord, eternal judge. Adonai natan va'Adonai lakach yehi shem. Adonai mivorach. The Lord giveth, the Lord taketh. Praise be the name of the Lord. Praise be the name of the Lord. May tear out flesh from the body, and may be seen.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we begin our services, if we can please kindly turn off all cell phones or electronic devices, so we can please place them on silent. Thank you.
Adonai ma'adam v'tzeichu ben-enosh v'chashvechu of us, we are like a fleeting breath. Our days are as a shadow. In the morning we flourish and grow up, and in the evening we are cut down and wither. You turn us to contrition and declare, return to me, or that we were wise and would consider our final end. The glory of humankind resides with us, the living in eternal memory we endure forever. In the heritage that we leave. So we are assembled with those who love and will continue to love Bryan the most. We gather with many mixed emotions. We gather with hugs and kisses for Bonnie and Kevin and Michael and those dear loved ones and friends and family who will L'dor v'ador, from generation to generation, always have Bryan in your hearts and souls and your minds, and we gather in the shadow that has fallen on your hearts. We raise our voices together in prayer to the source of love, asking for comfort and strength. We need that light when gloom darkens our home. To whom shall we look but to that creator of light? We need the fortitude and courage when pain and loss assail us. Where shall we find them if not in the thought of the one who preserves all that is good from destruction? Who among us in this room filled with love for Bryan and his beloved family has not passed through our own trials and bereavements? Some of us bear fresh wounds on our hearts and therefore feel more keenly the kinship of sorrow with those who hold Bryan closest to your hearts. Others of us whose days of mourning are more remote still recall when a silent word or a hug or a kiss or just your presence brought comfort. To sorrowing hearts all things pass, all that lives must die. We are travelers on the same road that leads to the same end. So we gather with the knowledge that Bryan will remain in our hearts and souls and minds, and as is tradition in Judaism, it is the hope that boys and girls not yet even born will be named after him, and they will grow up with the knowledge that they are named after someone that is so dear to your hearts that you are here today to comfort the family. So we continue with these words of love, a celebration of his life, and it is my honor to call up Jason.
How's everybody doing? I don't even know where to start. I met Bryan 6 years ago down in Florida, and the day that we met, we were both making fun of everybody in the room that we were in IOP, and we both realized, wow, holy shit, we got something in common. We both hate everybody in here. So, right then and there, we became best friends that day, and every day after that, I think everybody hated us every time we were in class, because that's all we did was just make fun of everybody. We were just a couple assholes, that's all. And just trying to think of we have so many good memories together, man. He was a great guy. So many people loved him. So he was touched so many different people. And this wasn't the way it was supposed to be, you know? I can keep on telling you some stories. Last time I was down here with him, actually, I went to see the Patriots play the Eagles, and the outcome was not what he wanted, and it was just the time of my life. I thought it was the greatest day. He was so miserable that they lost, and
didn't you eat to celebrate?
yeah, we ate to celebrate because we both love eating. Jeez. So, you know, we were supposed to actually go to Angelo's Pizza. That was one of his favorite places out here. He said that it was better than Regina's, and that's a place back in Boston that every time he comes up that we go to. That's one of his favorite spots. So I've been doing a lot of eating for his soul the past week. So all the weight I lost recently, I feel like I've been gaining it back because of him. Trying to just keep his memory going, I guess. And, I don't know, we were supposed to figure it out, you know, this whole life thing. Because we're just a bunch of shit shows. Can't seem to figure it out, but that was the plan. The plan was to figure it out. The plan wasn't for shit to end this way. He's an awesome person, funny person. asshole. But, I don't know. I just hope that everybody can keep his name and memory alive. I would love to start like a kind of like a charity or like a scholarship at the place he works at. Sell what he has left for sneakers if his parents don't need the money, and try to keep his name going so the next person that needs to get into rehab that doesn't have insurance or the money to get in there, hopefully that would be able to pay for it, and then it could be in his honor and his name will, live on forever and help the next person out where he didn't get the, couldn't figure it out. That was it. But yeah, enough of the sad stuff. He loved everybody in here, Buck and Matt, and Ray and Zach and everybody else I'm forgetting. He just touched so many people. He had so many best friends. He's just a great person, man. He's the only person besides my mother that I would FaceTime and talk to every single day, all day. We told each other everything. He's my brother, just a great person, man. I don't really have much else to say, but he was just an awesome person and clearly touched a bunch of people. So you all wouldn't be here today if he wasn't the great person that he was. So I thank you guys for coming and showing up and paying their respects to Bonnie and Kevin and his brother as well. And he wouldn't want anybody to be sad, so don't cry. He's probably making fun of everybody right now that's crying. So stop crying. And everybody who overdressed, he's making fun of you too. So yeah, I just wanted to end it on a laugh. So thank you very much. Appreciate it.
מזמור לדוד, אדוני ראוי לו אחסר, פינת אשר ירצני, אמן מנוחות ינחלני. First verse of the 23rd Psalm, and in Psalm 23, King David writes that God will walk us through the valley of the shadow of death. King David never wrote that God will leave us in that valley of sadness. So one day, when your days of mourning of Bryan are over, all that will be left are the joy-filled, the happy memories of his life. And those are the memories that will be passed down from generation to generation with love. So if you know the traditional words of the 23rd Psalm, please say them out loud from your hearts. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in straight paths for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest the table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou hast anointed my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Tabitha.
The spare bed is still unmade from the last time you slept in it. Your shampoo is still in my shower, and I'm still using your vape in the moments that I can calm myself enough to stop chain-smoking cigarettes. On our first date, we went to the movies. I can't really recall what the movie was even about because we were so busy laughing that neither of us could focus. I remember after a few months together, I asked you the age-old question, so what are we? I'll never forget the confused look on your face when you stopped and said, wait, are you not my girlfriend? No one had ever made me feel so special and so incredibly stupid all in the same moment. I remember the anxiety that I had on my way to meet Zach and Shannon. All I wanted was for your friends to like me. I remember getting invited to Aunt Shelley's for the first time, and the same anxiety that came with that. Now all I wanted was for your family to accept me. On the way to Aunt Shelley's, we stumbled upon your mom walking Roma on the side of the road. Meeting her and talking to her was so easy, and I thought to myself, there's no way I'm this lucky. I remember when Jay was coming down to spend the weekend at our house, and all I could think about was what snacks I could buy to make you guys happy. Meeting him was a little bit easier. You showed me all of your favorite stores in New York. You showed me Pete and Elda's Pizza for the first time and bought me my first Tiffany necklace. I couldn't want for anything this past Christmas. More important than the material things, I remember the first time I cried in front of you. It was my first Father's Day without a father. And I tried so hard to hold back the tears. You grabbed me and told me it was okay to cry on you. You made me feel safe in ways that no one ever had with you. With you, home became a person, not a two-bedroom condo. You put up with sleepovers with Nico. You surprised me at work. You played Pokemon Go with me for hours at a time. You bought me presents just because. And you told me all about your brother's jewelry business and made me show you what rings I liked. And you told me, one day, this is where I'll get your ring from. We talked about having kids and how chaotic and crazy it would be because our strongest similarities were our aggression, our anger, and our most fatal flaw, being the two most stubborn people on this earth. If our love for each other only could have outlasted these traits, then I'm convinced we wouldn't be in the position that we are. There's a new hole in my spirit that truly will never be filled again. I'll watch every Adam Sandler movie. I'll put the Hanukkah decorations up every year. I'll play all of your favorite songs on repeat. I'll wear your t-shirt to bed every night. I'll bring Scar to visit Grandma Bonnie, and I'll show him the same love that you always did. I'll never make the bed, and your shampoo will always stay. I'll think of you during every Eagles game and never move your Carson Wentz figurine from my shelf. I'll eat all the pizza in your honor and always recite, one bite, everybody knows the rules. In return, I ask for constant reminders that you're still here. Not just for me, but for your mom and dad, for your brother and Jay, for everyone in this room and all those who wish to be here. I hope that by now you've met my dad and shook his hand. I knew that he sent you, I just didn't know how limited our time would be. If I could turn back time, I would change a million things. Since the sad reality is that I still won't say goodbye. I'll tell you that when we do meet again, I won't make the same mistakes. I will love you unconditionally no matter how hard you fight me on it. Until then, you will always be my honey. I will always keep your memory alive. And I will continue to hold on to the same love that I have for you in my heart.
A beautiful poem called The Last 5 Minutes. If we discovered, the late Christopher Morley observed, if we discovered that we only had 5 minutes left to say, all we wanted to say, every telephone booth would be occupied by people calling other people to stammer that they loved them. Why wait until the last 5 minutes? Michael.
we all loved Bryan, and I loved him too. I've never really been a sentimental person. I left that to my brother. He had a much bigger heart than I do. And everyone here has told me on many occasions how much he loved me. And I will always regret not telling him how much I love him. His smile and his charisma, his spirit and his passion. He was a beautiful person. I'll always remember throughout the years, didn't matter where we went. I hated people too, so I still do. I think you got that from me. Sorry. But it didn't matter if it was the holidays or going to someone's home or dinners or anything. The two of us would always find a space together away from everyone. And we didn't have to say much, and it didn't matter, but we were together. And over the years, we didn't see each other that much, but eventually a time came where my mother and brother would come to visit me. It was some of the best times, because we could spend that time together. And even when we would go to my Aunt Shelley's house, and all the family would be there, and everyone would be enjoying time together, we would still find that time together in another room, just the two of us. I loved my brother so much, and I hope he knows that.
He does.
And it'll be a long time from now, but I know when it's time, I'll see him again in that separate room. That table just for the two of us. Bryan, I love you. I will always love you.
Bryan went by many names according to your relationship with him. A silly name, his formal name, a nickname. When we say the words, we will remember. Please say the name that Bryan was known to you as in this world, the name that you called him. That you will have the honor of calling him whenever you have the privilege of thinking and dreaming about him. Say that name out loud. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we will remember. In the blowing of the wind, in the chill of winter, we will remember. In the opening of buds, in the rebirth of spring, we will remember. In the blueness of the sky, and in the warmth of summer, we will remember. In the rustling of leaves, and in the beauty of autumn, we will remember. In the beginning of the year, and when it ends, we will remember. When we are weary and in need of strength, we will remember. When we are lost and sick at heart, we will remember. When we have joys we yearn to share, we will remember. As long as we live, he too will live, for he is now a part of us, as we will always remember. Matt.
Say how you feel, Matt.
I know him as B-Hop. I met him 7 years ago, also in Florida. And the first thing he said is, "Yo, bro, you got a Newport?" All right. And he asked me if I was Jewish. No, but you know, called me Jew Matt from there on out for the rest of the time we know each other. Not Jewish though. You know, Bryan and I, you know, we've lived with each other, you know, for quite some time. We've been all over this country with each other. I saw a video on Facebook. Somebody had posted of him like jumping up to give somebody the Heimlich maneuver. I don't know how many of you guys saw that, but that was that you?
Yeah.
Great. But that epitomized who Bryan was. No matter what was going on, he would help you out. Anything that you needed. One of the things I asked him is when we were in South Florida, I was like, "Hey dude, can you drive me to New Hampshire?" And he was like, "Yeah, dude, it sounds like a great idea." And it was not. It was probably one of the worst ideas we've ever had. I was rolling through some of the stories that we've got with each other. Bonnie, you know, a lot of the antics that we went through, so I can't share many of them up here. But that was one of the good ones.
You weren't with him when he drove over an alligator.
I was not with him with the alligator, but I did drive off the interstate in front of a cop on that trip. That was pretty bad. I don't know about that. You know, he got to meet my family. My family loved him dearly. He was down with me for a few weeks, just up until last week, and I feel honored that I got to spend some time with him and say goodbye to him. I didn't know, obviously, that it was going to be goodbye, but we sat for hours and hours, and my girlfriend wanted to she was like, "Can Bryan move out now?" No, he's staying forever. You know, we just caught up for hours and, you know, got to review our whole relationship with each other. It was almost like he knew that might have been the last time that we were going to be with each other. It was the most surreal thing. You know, I love Bryan like a brother, and, you know, I know a lot of people loved him, and he loved most people. Again, did definitely hate a lot of people. I had to restrain myself, and I know Jay did as well, because he had always said, if God forbid something happens and we see people posting statuses about loving Bryan, to tell him Bryan actually hated you. And I saw probably about 70% of the statuses, and I messaged Jay about it, and I was like, I want to do it so bad, but I just thought it, and I was like, all right, it's kind of distasteful, I guess. So he's probably pretty pissed that I didn't. But you know, but he did. Those that he loved more than anybody that I know. The kid had a heart of gold. He was a jerk off all the time. Just be real here. But he was the best. He was absolutely the best. I've got memories that I'll never forget. Got a couple scars that
From the scooter?
from the scooter. He used to drive me to work at 4 in the morning when I worked at Dunkin' Donuts on a scooter, and I wasn't a little guy, you know. Scooters aren't very big, and I would have to call it nuts to butts every day. He was just like, if you give me $3 for a Monster and a pack of Newports, and I'll take you to work. 4 in the morning, he'd wake up and do it, and then he'd pick me up in the afternoons. And, you know, those were some of the best times of my life. And, you know, I'll cherish those moments forever. And I know each and every person in here has moments that they'll cherish with Bryan, both funny, mostly funny, probably. You know, and he loved the whole family. Mike, I know I've never met you, he spoke about you a lot. And Bonnie and Kevin, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know how much he loved you guys, and thanks everybody for being here. You know, I know it means the world to the family, and like Jay said, you know, Bryan doesn't want to see anybody sad. He fucking call you a loser if we were, you know. Sorry. But I was trying not to cuss up here, it didn't work. I love that kid, and I'll always love him. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.
Bug.
My name is Anthony, but he would want me to be known to you all as Buck. we can't really delve into the reason why he calls me that. And we can't delve into, I was like, I could tell, no, I couldn't tell this one. What about the time? No. So, you know, I just wanted to, you know, give you a nice image of no shirt and no shirt in my house. We always walk around in no shirts in my house, and that was the greatest thing because he would just show up out of nowhere, and there was no good pizza down there in Florida. There was nothing. So, Buck, what are you cooking for me?
Buck, tell them you're a chef.
I'm a chef, so, and I would cook with my shirt off for the guy, and he would be waiting on my couch with his shirt off for food. And I love the guy, like you guys. I met Bryan 7 years ago in Florida, and I was actually his house manager then.
I remember calling you, is he okay?
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize you were some kid just like him.
I didn't know Bonnie. I just knew her over the phone, and it was, hey Bonnie, you know, Bryan did this, or rent's due. But when I met Bryan, it was no. Once I met the kid, it was. I knew it was a friendship, a great friendship. I never had anything to, and I'm a very judgmental person. I am, and I didn't judge him one bit. I love the kid. Probably the only G-rated story I can tell you guys is back then we didn't have Wawa in Florida, and I can remember he was very spontaneous. So you know, if he drove Matt to New Hampshire, he sure as hell would drive to Orlando with me 2.5, 3 hours to get a Wawa iced tea, and that's what we did. And you saw the picture. We went and got a Wawa iced tea, and we were like two little kids, you know, like 9-year-olds on Christmas Day, because you don't get Wawa iced tea down there back then. So, needless to say, we drove 2 hours for what, a $2.59 iced tea, and drove right back, and we were perfectly happy with that. It was the little things we didn't. There was nothing really in life. Well, besides his shoes, you know, those are. He had, but he got a large. Got in an accident and got a decent amount of money, and it was you know, we're not going to put away in a 401k. We're not going to get a car. $30,000 worth of shoes, and that's not. I promise you, that's not an exaggeration. It was like a pack of cigarettes and Buck, you know, I'm going to take you to Burger King, and
What, did you guys go to Red Cross?
that was Doof. Yeah, our other friend Doof. God rest his soul. His other best friend up there, and have been riding on scooters together right now. Nuts to butts. But. You know, and I always say this, you know, you never know. The last time I talked to him was a couple of days before. He like I said, he was very spontaneous. A couple of days before, he had an interview in West Palm and was like, I'm going to move in with you. He's like, all right, this is, you know, I was really excited, you know, yeah, we get to cook naked together, and I was really, really excited, and that was the last time I talked to him, but you just never know. You know, tell your family you love them anytime you talk to them. Hug them, give them a kiss. You just never know. Life is too short, but he wouldn't want me up here, you know, stop. He wants me in, you know, Jordans, and you know, I got a Jordan t-shirt underneath here, but I think one thing he would want to hear one last time is the Eagles chant. So for Bryan, E-A-G-L-E-S.
And for the love that death cannot sever, for the friendship we shared along life's path, for those gifts of heart and mind which are now become a precious heritage. For all these and more, we are grateful. And help us, God, not to dwell on sorrow and pain, but to honor our beloved Bryan by the quality of our lives. And let us all say, Amen. Shelley.
So I go way back with Bonnie. I met Bonnie when I was 14 years old. And Shelley, and Don, and her father, Yumi, who was hilarious. Every time I ate dinner over there, I didn't know whether I was going to pee my pants or blow soda out of my nose because he was so funny. And her mother, Doris, who was just so kind and beautiful. She was the most amazing baker. It's no wonder why we gained so much weight back then. And Bonnie has always been so kind and so personable and so funny. And I just know that all of that was put into Bryan. So personable, funny, loving. His father, Kevin. I'm sorry, all of you, for your loss. My name for Bryan was Jupak Shakur. Bryan came in with those flashy sneakers and that big Jewish star. Jupak Shakur. Bryan and I worked together at Pinelands Recovery Center, which was once Ambrosia Treatment Center. And Bryan was just hilarious, kind, funny. There are so many people here that work with him, that love him, and they each have their own story. Angie told me the other night how they used to sneak out of IOP together to get s'mores latte. Christine let me know that he was the male version of her, and she loved him. She's in so much pain right now. You know, I woke up on Saturday thinking that I felt so small and powerless. And, you know, just anything that we do make a difference in this field. And I know that that was a lie, because I know that, you know, some of us have the privilege of carrying the message of recovery. Some of us get to carry the message, and some of us are the message. And the message is that, you know, we get one day at a time to work a program, to not pick up, to give back. And Bryan's life meant something. It meant something to his family. It meant something to all of you who are here who love him. And the only thing that I can do at this time is to wish you solace and peace. And because I'm a lousy Jew, I'd like to say an Irish prayer. May God give you with every storm a rainbow, with every tear a smile. That's better. With every care a promise, with every blessing in each trial. With every problem life sends, a faithful friend to share. With every sigh, a sweet song, and an answer to each prayer. I wish each and every one of you solace and peace at this time, and know that you have an angel with you. I woke up thinking, you know, I don't know how I'm going to hear the words. Yesgedal, Yesgedal, Shnei Rocha, for my dear friend. wishing you solace, Mom.
We rise for the prayer of our departed, the El Malay Rachamim. Emre Rachamim Shochin Bamrumim Hametzei Milchan Chona תחת כנפי השכינה עם חדשים גדולים גזרה רקיע מזהירים את נשמת Bryan ben Gitosara and Kevin שלח לי עולמו ברחמים יסירהו בסתר כנפה בעולמים ויתרו שלום על משכבו ונאמר Amen. And once again in the space provided, please say the name that Bryan will forever be known to you as in love, compassionate God. Eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to who has entered eternity, O God of mercy. Let him find refuge in your eternal presence, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace. And let us all say, you may be seated.
Will you pallbearers please step to the center aisle? And I'll ask if we can rise once more, please.
seated, please.
Folks in this row, we begin the head to our arms, please. Folks in this row, please. Folks in this row, please. Begin the head to our arms. Folks in this row.
Let me just, if I can just walk up this way.
Do you guys want my keys? Yeah. Are you going with Bonnie?
One of these cars that's in procession lines may not go, so just pull people around. Yeah, I think the flowers are gonna go, but just give me 1 second. We're gonna ask them. That's okay. Okay. Ooh.
I'll pretend he doesn't have the service on it. I'm going to text him and say that time to work this morning.